and time won't stop moving. I watched Sing for the first time literally a week ago, and that song has been stuck in my head out of all the songs in that because of the pig. And, well, the pigs, yeah. It's Shake It Off is stuck in my head because of the pigs. Hello, everyone. Hi. Is there a way to say hello without sounding weird? I don't know. Well, what's up, guys? My name's Mariah here. In case you didn't know. Getting a little weird, guys. It's getting there. Okay, I'm cold. Anyways, today I'm going to be talking about Unrequited Alice by Sarah Smith. I received an e-copy of this via NetGalley to do an honest review on it. I will leave a link to my Goodreads review, which is exactly what I submitted to NetGalley, so you can see my thoughts and opinions, because I had a lot. Well, not a lot, but I enjoyed it, so yeah. This is actually going to be a spoiler-free review. That way, anyone who wants to hear about this book can hear and watch the whole video. I know normally I do half and half, but I decided to switch it up this time. This is going to be completely spoiler-free, so if you have not read this, you can keep on watching. This book comes out on March 16th. This book follows Alice, obviously. She lives in the UK, and her best friend Hannah is about to get married to Ed. Alice is the maid of honor. And you would think Alice would be so excited, right? Well, she is excited for Hannah, and she's sad for herself because she's in love with Hannah's fiancé. What? When I read the synopsis of this, I was like, oh, this is like such a chick lit novel if I ever heard one. And I don't really read much chick lit. And at first I was like, this is gonna not be good. But I liked it. A lot. I find myself having a guilty pleasure of reading chick lit, especially well-written chick lit. This book starts out about probably a week before the wedding, and they go on a hen to Niagara Falls in Canada, and I'm guessing a hen is like the bachelorette party, but like how the UK call it. I don't know. That's basically what it was, as a bachelorette party. It was a long weekend there. Obviously, Alice is struggling because she's very excited for her best friend, but she's in love with the man she's marrying, so it's hard on her. But she's keeping a positive mind, and obviously Hannah does not know about this. Alice and Hannah and all the other bridesmaids go to Niagara Falls, and they run into this group of guys who's there for a friend's birthday, and they're from the United States, from New York. And the groups hit it off really well, so they end up spending the majority of the weekend together. And Alice meets a boy, and his name is Toby. And they have a really great friendship. They connect on a lot of different levels, and she starts to kind of tell her problems to him a little bit, and so they hit it off, and they have a great weekend, and then obviously it's time to bloop, split back. Then Hannah is stuck going back, and a week later is going to be her friend's wedding, and she has to deal with it, and she has to stand there and watch them get married. So it's very interesting. That's just the beginning of the book. It's a lot longer. There's a lot more that goes into it, but I can't tell you without spoiling anything. Now, the plot of this is just a very basic plot. This is a very character-driven novel. You learn a lot about Alice. She works at a bookstore. She's the manager of a bookstore, which I love so much. That would be my dream job if I could afford a living to work at a bookstore. That'd be the best job ever. Ever. Alice lives with two of her roommates, and you start to learn about her roommates a little bit. You basically, all of the characters in this, you get a little bit of history of it. And that's pretty amazing. You learn about Alice's family, you learn about what she likes, so it's a very character-driven novel. And basically you think this whole thing's going to be about her being in love with Ed. Which, in a sense it is, but it's about her finding herself and figuring out what she wants to do with her life, where she wants to go, and what are her goals for her life, and what are her passions. And it's just like, you just see her go from like this so pathetic, like, you know what I mean, at the bottom, like, it's so sad, and then she just blossoms, and she just becomes like this person that she wants to be, and it's pretty awesome, and I love books like that because they make my heart happy. Unrequited or unquitted? I say unrequited. Tell me. Unrequited love basically means unreciprocated love, so that's what that means. But I don't know how to pronounce it, so if I'm pronouncing it wrong, you can tell me. Go ahead. I'm going to just kind of keep going with the pros, and then I'll get into my cons about the book. One of the main things I love about this is Toby as a character. I really like him. He's funny, he makes me laugh, and his friend Mike makes me laugh a lot. It's just a really funny book. It makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it just gives you all the feels. It's a really nice book. So Toby, He's a gentleman. He's, of course, handsome. And you learn a lot about him. He's a very complex character. And there's still, like, don't really know. Like, you're always like, oh, part of it, you're like, he's a little mystery there. And obviously you learn from the book what it is, but I really enjoyed Toby as a character. He's probably one of my favorite male side characters in a contemporary slash chick lit slash romance book. And then the imagery of Niagara Falls was so beautiful. I've only been there once, and it was like at night, and we drove by. We were on the US side, which is not as pretty as the Canadian side, of course. I don't know, I've never been there, but from what I've heard. On to the things that I didn't quite like about the book. I wasn't too keen on the dialogue. I felt like it was very I felt like the dialogue was something I probably could have written. I don't know, like, I know dialogue's difficult, but I just felt like the dialogue was just not as good as I wanted it to be, and it was repetitive. They had the same conversations at different times, basically saying the same thing over and over again, and it was obnoxious. Like, I had this conversation, and you think, oh, maybe it'll end differently, but it ends the same almost every time. I felt like instead of more dialogue, there could have been more descriptions and more history and more this and more that. It's just too much dialogue that was repetitive. And obviously this has a love triangle trope in it because of Alice and Ed and Hannah. So, boom, boom, triangle. It has a love triangle trope. That doesn't seem to bother me that much anymore. It is annoying that it's in almost every book I read that has to do with contemporary romance, whatever. But, so that was a little bit annoying, but I got over it because it wasn't like it's not like a Twilight love triangle. Jesus fudge. And another thing that annoyed me is she kept referring to the wedding as Ed's wedding, not Hannah's wedding. And she's in love with him or whatever. Like, that's your best friend and you're referring to her wedding as Ed's wedding. Like, no. Mm-mm. No. And I do want to let you know that she doesn't, I know this might be a little spoiler, but she doesn't portray her friendship with Hannah at all. She doesn't. That was the one thing going into this book I was worried about. Obviously, I wouldn't like that book if that happened, but it didn't, so it's okay. We're good. Yeah, but overall, I really enjoyed this book. It was a fun read. It was a quick read, and I would recommend it if you're into chick lit. I think you would really enjoy this. I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. 3 stars means I enjoyed it. Didn't give it a 4 stars or a 5 stars because there wasn't anything in it that made me go, ooh, ah, like that's super awesome or stuck with me, but it was a good book and I enjoyed it. And that's why I'm with most contemporaries. They're about a 3 or a 4 for me. So I liked this book and I recommend it if you like chick lit, like I said. As always, all the information you will need to know will be linked down below. I will have a link to the book. I will have a link to all my social media and any other fun things you might want to check out. Yeah, don't forget, the thing you do, like a thumbs up, yeah, like it and subscribe. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!